everybody? Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast. As always, John Kelly here with Jeremiah Stringer, the king of Kentucky backpacking. And I want to say that we are brought to you by Outdoor Vitals. And the reason I'm excited about that is because this year they're turning 10 years old. They started back in 2014. I guess it was in Tayson's college room or college dorm room. Was that right? And he was selling sleeping bags on Amazon. And he came up with this name, Outdoor Vitals.
Yeah. And they are a totally different company now.
Yeah.
Then he was just hustling on the grind, trying to make it. Now they're a legit backpacking company.
Making their own gear, designing their own gear. They've got some crazy stuff out there and some cool stuff that's coming in the future also. But big thank you to our good friends at Outdoor Vitals. What an incredible company. We're so glad to be able to partner with them on this podcast. Jeremiah,
Dude,
you're under the weather.
I'm a little under the weather. I hate it when I'm listening to a content creator and they drone on and on about how different they sound because they're a little sick. But I will tell you, nothing to worry about allergies and no vid or anything like that. I went to go buy some Sudafed, and you have to show your driver's license. You know that?
Oh, yeah. They take one look at you and they think you're going to make meth.
Yes. Speaking of,
wait a second. Where are we going with this?
Speaking of illicit content, John said meth there. Hopefully they don't demonetize this episode. I don't know if you saw last week after showing that bear video, they demonetized us for that.
Yeah, they did.
But not about the guns that we talked about for 10 minutes.
Yeah, they did. Which is hilarious.
But the Sudafed, yeah, they at Walgreens, they said we need to see your driver's license. And they're like, what kind of Sudafed do you want? And I was like, well, I don't even know what that means. What do you mean, what kind of Sudafed? Because I don't get the real one. I just get the
cheapo Bobo brand.
Yeah, you can just buy it. You don't even have to ask for it at the pharmacy, and it's mixed with acetaminophen to help with sinus pressure and stuff. Mm-hmm. Nope, I went for the real deal, and I was like, is there a limit on this? And she was like, yeah, you can get 9 grams per month or 3.6 grams per day. But of course, once you hit the 9 gram mark, I was like, that's a lot of Sudafed. She's like, yeah, you'd be surprised. So yeah, I think the meth game has probably slowed down a little bit, but they're cracking down on the Sudafed and probably have been for the last 10 or 15 years.
Oh,
I buy it every 5 years, so it's hard for me to know.
Yeah, I'm a Claritin guy, and it's the same thing.
I've been taking a Claritin. I guess Bridget buys those. I've been taking one every morning, man. I think it helps a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. Time will tell.
Well, Jeremiah, last week we had a conversation going, and it was a good one. We were talking about national park reviews gone bad. And
yeah.
So I got online and I found an article from Outside. For those who don't know, Outside is basically Outside Magazine. They kind of are this all-in-one outdoors website that has everything on it, and they also own like Gaia GPS, and I think they bought Backpacker Magazine.
Wow, boy, making big moves.
Yeah, so they're kind of a big deal company when it comes to the outdoors. But last December, they did a worst national park reviews of the year.
There's some crazy people that go to these national parks and write reviews, dude.
Oh, yeah. And so I wanted to take some time, and I wanted to read through some of these and just talk to you with them. This is going to be a shorter episode, and this will probably take up all of our time because this is just hilarious, and it's really good. But the first park they talk about is Yosemite National Park.
Oh, yeah, this is a legendary park.
Yosemite National Park, and these were the 2 comments from Yosemite National Park that made the list. The first one is, really annoying that it's the same way in and same way out. Scenery is not breathtaking.
Oh, my goodness. Even from the pictures, it's breathtaking.
Just the fact they're mad because you go in and go out the same way.
What does that mean, go in and go out the same way?
There's an entrance and an exit, and it's in the same area. It's kind of like if you go to any other park.
Oh, they must be wanting the drive-through experience.
Probably, but it gets better. The next one says, I need someone to explain to me the hype of this place. This place looks like any place with mountains and trees. Too many people, not enough stores, not enough places to buy food.
Oh, my gosh. what do these people expect with a national park? I'm going to look at some photos of Yosemite, uh, just to get an idea of how it looks.
But it cracks me up that they're mad because there's not enough places to eat and not enough stores.
That's like the exact opposite of what the typical national park visitor wants, in my opinion. For
Yeah, you're
me,
going to be outside.
yeah, you want to be outside. You want like basically untouched beauty is the
Mhm.
goal. But
Except for the hang time hook in a movie when I go to bed.
yeah,
Because I know
I'm with you
somebody, if
there.
we didn't say it, if we didn't just come out and say it first, somebody's going to call us on that part. But yeah.
They got Half Dome, a huge attraction. That's climbed a lot, isn't it? Isn't that one of the
Yeah.
biggest climbs? One of the most popular climbs people do?
It's absolutely beautiful out there. Mountains everywhere. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. California, man, has some beautiful spots.
Oh
Beautiful
yeah,
spots. All right, you ready for number 2 on this list?
yeah, I
Number 2
love
on
it.
this list? Hawaii. Man, I almost said Hawaii. You want to go to Hawaii? It's the Hawaii National Park, the Volcanoes National Park. And the person goes, absolutely horrible disappointment. There wasn't a single pickleball court in sight. You'd think with its extreme length of 2.93 miles, an extreme width of 1.95 miles, and a circumference of 7.85 miles, an area of 4.41 square feet miles, they'd find some space for one.
What's up with all the measurements? Why is this person?
Why do they
Like,
want a pickleball court at Hawaii Volcanoes National Park?
that one can't be real. That's got to be a troll. What do you think?
It's on Yelp.
It's on Yelp, but yeah,
It's
but
on
anybody
Yelp.
can put anything on Yelp. I'm looking at some pictures of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park,
Yeah, it's
or
cool.
Hawaii, and
Hawaii.
yeah, Hawaii. And I got to tell you, man, this is one thing I loved learning about in school was volcanoes, the igneous rock, the viscosity of the lava flow. I still haven't got to see one in person. I don't know if I really want to see one erupting necessarily, but I'm
No,
pretty sure
no.
that if you were to visit this national park, you could probably see some like slow moving lava flow, or maybe at least some going into the ocean or something that would be
Yeah.
semi safe. But my review, I'm sure, would be a lot better than this numbskull.
Well, we're about to hit home now. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, more pickleball.
We're at number 3, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, North Carolina and Tennessee.
I love to death.
This one is from TripAdvisor. Some falls and streams had nothing but toddlers peeing and pooing in the water.
What?
Some streams and falls had nothing but toddlers peeing and pooing in the water.
Yeah, the peeing in the water with a toddler, I totally get.
Yeah.
But where's this person finding just a slew of children, all 3 to 5 years old, pooping in the water?
I don't know, man. I mean, this toddlers, they overrun the national parks. Don't you know that? I doubt they even had parents with them. They're like little animals. Like they're just crazy. They just do they're visceral and feral. You just can't touch them.
Yeah, they're just out trying to mark their territory, dude.
The bears run from them. I mean, it's crazy.
I don't even have to Google a picture of that one, man. I've lived the
No joke.
Smoky Mountains National. I will tell you though, I don't know about the toddlers situation, but especially on the AT running through there, there's a lot of poop. I'm not gonna lie, and some areas there's so much poop that there's just like a dedicated shovel, not the whole shovel, by the way. You only get like just the I don't even know what it's called, just
The
the
spade?
spade part of
Yeah.
the shovel. There's no handle or anything.
That's
I guess
hilarious.
that's the ultralight life you got to live out there, man. If you're going to be carrying a shovel and it's full size, just take off the handle. That'll shed some weight.
Hey, man, like Outdoor Vitals, live ultralight.
That's right. They're makers of performance first ultralight gear.
That's right. Also, this is another one from Smoky Mountains. This one was my favorite. Are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Can't say this is one of my favorite national parks. No bear sightings, but that's not the park's fault. ... The haziness of it gave me huge headaches.
Oh, that was a good one to include, man. It's not like it's in the name or anything.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm curious, what is it that makes the Smoky's smoky?
Probably humidity, wouldn't it be? Like, just because it's one of the more green national parks. As far as
Well,
like, there's the mountains in Tennessee aren't snow capped.
right,
You know what
right.
I mean? So it could have something to do with that. The temperature. It's a hot national park
Yeah,
compared
it's
to some of the
almost like a
others.
rainforest.
Yeah.
According to Google's AI, there's a few contributing factors: humidity and altitude, organic chemical reaction. This would be specifically the damp plants undergoing an organic chemical reaction that releases VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. Those mixed with the fog. There's also blue light scattering. It's from the molecules in the gas scattering blue light from the sky, giving the fog a blue color. And then the high concentration of the VOCs. So all that together apparently makes it smoky. And according to this, the Cherokee people call the bluish tint blue smoke.
Nice.
So
Well,
maybe that's
there's
kind of where
one
the
other
name.
thing they didn't add in there.
Yeah, what's that?
The amount of burning cannabis that is found within those mountains.
Yes, I think the cannabis probably would contribute to the smoke for sure.
Yeah, if you've ever been in the higher parts of the Smokies, where the hardcore backpackers are, you will gain a sniff of something
Yes,
while you're up there.
Emphasis on the higher parts. if you will.
Yes, the higher parts. Well,
I'll be here all
Jeremiah,
week. Thanks.
we are to number 4, and that's Zion National Park in Utah. Now, for
Oh,
those who
okay.
don't know, Zion offers towering sandstone cliffs and some of the most famous slot canyons in the world. So they are absolutely beautiful. And so this is from TripAdvisor. Seems like a lot of these are Yelp and TripAdvisor. There's a few Google ones too, but this one from TripAdvisor. It says the mountains are beautiful, but most of the different formations look redundant to my untrained eye, so I didn't see the value in trying to hike around all of them.
Oh my goodness, redundant. Man, what a lack of care for the beautiful creations out there, dude. I'm looking at them.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
The rivers. Utah, I'm telling you, man, it's like Mars. It's like the closest to Mars that I'm ever going to get. I'm definitely not hopping on any of Elon's shuttles, but let's see.
That's one of my targets for 2025. I may already have something lined up to go out there.
Is Zion or hooking up with Elon?
Utah.
Okay.
I might be doing some desert hiking in Utah. I'm hoping. It's not all set in stone, but that's set in stone. Yeah. Oh, and then there was one more. There's one more for Zion National Park. This one's hilarious. You ready?
Yeah.
This is from Yelp. Noxious weeds everywhere.
Noxious weeds everywhere.
Noxious weeds everywhere.
Is that it?
That's the whole thing. Noxious weeds everywhere. And for those who are wondering what noxious is, it's harmful, poisonous, or very unpleasant.
Oh, okay.
So they're saying poison ivy everywhere.
Well, I have well, technically this is a couple that I'm friends with in our life group, and I can't remember if they said it's for their honeymoon or maybe they're just on vacay, but they went out to Zion National Park. And I'm looking at a picture of this one specific, it's like a canyon, but it's almost like a subway tube. And they said that they signed up to hike it, but I think that like there's only certain days or certain times of the week that you can hike it due to the water levels. So maybe you got to get in there by a certain time, get out by a certain time. Absolutely beautiful, dude. I'm telling you, when I say it's like a totally different world,
it is.
I mean, that's an understatement.
It's almost like watching an old Western or something.
Yeah, everything's rustic.
Red.
And that red tint to it due to, I guess, all the iron in the rocks out there or something.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, number 5 on this list, Jeremiah. Glacier National Park in Montana. Now, originally it was called the place where there's a lot of ice. And they were like, at one point there were 80 glaciers, like in 1950. Now there's fewer than 30. So
that's sad. Global warming.
Yeah, there's just not as many glaciers as there used to be. So here's the Yelp review for that. Are you ready? Where are the glaciers? It was disappointing to stand at lookouts with glaciers in the distance and signage showing glaciers 50 years ago near where I was standing. So,
Do they want them to take down the signs or
or do they want them to like bring in new glaciers? I don't know what they're supposed to do about that. Like,
does this show how many stars the reviews are? Or are they just written?
It's just written. It's just the reviews themselves. It doesn't have the stars. But I can't imagine it's good stars if they were that upset about it.
No, but I would give that comment a 0 stars.
I would give that comment very much a 0 stars. I love people complaining about things that you can't help.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the wildlife and some people backpacking through there. Looks like a lot of, well, I guess those are mountain goats or rams. I'm not really sure. I don't know the difference. But some of the lakes, dude, if I remember right, this is like, what's the name of the lake that's got all the different colored rocks? I'm pretty sure that it's in Glacier National Park. It's one of the clearest lakes, but I guess it would be because, you see, I don't know about you, but I see like short form videos all the time, like TikToks and reels and stuff. There's always somebody dipping a glass in glacier runoff, and it's like the clearest, coldest, best water that you could ever drink.
There's 10 must-see lakes in the park. I'll just name them. There's Lake McDonald, Two Medicine Lake, St. Mary Lake, Avalanche Lake, Bowman Lake. That one's pretty beautiful. Swift Current Lake, which that one's really clear, it looks like. Lake Josephine, Hidden Lake, Red Rock Lake, Grinnell Lake. Yeah, and Grinnell Lake. So that's all the ones.
It was Lake McDonald. I don't know
Lake
if you
McDonald.
can see that on your end. Yeah.
It's the very first one. Yeah.
Yeah. Lake McDonald, famous for its colorful rocks, which some say look like a rainbow.
Well, let's do this right here. This was a picture I got of that lake. I'll throw it up here for everybody to see.
Says that the rocks are a result of the lake's high mineral content and complex geologic history. The water helps make the vivid colors of the rocks, which includes reds, greens, yellows, that stand out.
That's a beautiful lake, man.
Yeah, and I don't know if those are mountains with snow caps or glaciers, but you still get to see some of the frozen beauty that comes along with Glacier National Park.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous, man. Well, we are moving on to number 6 on our list.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It is Arches National Park in Utah. And this has the largest concentration of sandstone arches in the country. So this should be interesting. This is another Yelp review. It says, it's bad enough every time I turn around, the government is bending me over, but having to pay a $2 timed entry to a national park is ridiculous, even if we have a yearly pass. Government sucks. Male parts. I hate every last one of you.
Oh, I love the edits.
Yeah.
That's funny. I wish we had a sound drop to put over the top of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Woo, buddy.
They're saying it costs $2 to get in, even though you have a national park pass. I assume it's the same thing that you were talking about the other day.
The America the Beautiful pass, probably.
Yeah. So I wonder how long you get in for $2. Got to be a while, right?
I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so.
I'm looking at it, and I got to say, Red River Gorge does not compare. It does not compare when it comes to arches, dude. This is insane.
Yeah. Well, and it's much larger also than the Red River Gorge, so you're going to see a lot more because of that. So, but it's another one of those places I really want to go to. Definitely. Okay, number 7 on our list, Jeremiah, is a park I think we've both been to at some point, down at Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. It's known for its lush forests and rocky peaks, as well as hosting a long section of the world-famous Appalachian Trail. So this one's from TripAdvisor.
Okay.
This is hilarious. It says, it was a mountainous area with trees and some nice shrubbery, but unfortunately it wasn't that entertaining. Underwhelming.
Oh, my goodness. That breaks my heart, dude. I've been there.
I have too.
Can you imagine standing on a McAfee knob and being disappointed.
I know. Well, just the fact that it said underwhelming.
Yeah, underwhelming. Get over yourself.
I mean, the most beautiful spots on the Appalachian Trail are pretty much there in the Shenandoah. That's where some of the most beautiful spots on the entire thing are. So the entire trip.
Yeah, dude. Sitting there catching a sunset, sitting in a shelter overlooking mountains in
Yeah.
Shenandoah National Park. I mean, how does it get much better than that?
Yeah, and you've been to McAfee Knob, right?
Actually, I don't think I have been there. Isn't there like a triple crown of
Yeah.
smaller jewels in that area?
Yeah, there is. But
McAfee Knob, and then I can't remember the other two.
I can't name off the top of my head. I can't name off the top of my head. That's terrible. But I have been to McAfee Knob, and I actually have a picture up from being up there, and it's awesome. That's like everybody's picture they take when they do the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, it's the most photographed spot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is, and with good reason. I mean, it's beautiful, man. If I'd have thought about it, I would have gone ahead and had that picture pulled up. I could show it to you, but it's one of those beautiful places. I
Well,
just got underwhelming though. It's underwhelming.
the other ones were Dragon's Tooth and Tinker Cliffs.
Tinker
They're called
Cliffs,
the
yep.
Triple Crown Hiking of Virginia, which
Yep.
I don't think that I've actually been to any of them, unless it was on the AT and I hit that spot. That's so close to me. I don't know how I haven't already done that.
I don't know. Well, it's a pretty brutal hike.
Yeah, if these old legs can take it. We'll see.
Your legs are like 20 years younger than my legs. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
I
right.
think you'll be just fine. Okay, so number 8 on this list, and I'm gonna stop at number 8 on purpose
All right.
because next week we're gonna do a little something with these last few.
Oh, I
Okay,
like that.
I want to save them. I want to save them. So we're gonna hold off on those. But number 8 is the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve in Colorado.
Okay. Colorado, they have sand dunes out there. Didn't know that.
Now think about this. It's Sand Dunes National Park, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the review from TripAdvisor. It's $25 to get in, and it's basically just a lot of sand. There are not a lot of amenities or other things to do. You can basically walk up the sand dunes and use boogie boards or sleds to spice it up a little. I just didn't feel like it was really worth the long drive and money to see a bunch of sand.
Oh my gosh, dude. This person obviously didn't have a boogie board with them, because if
Or
they
can't
did,
read. Or can't read. Where
Why do you
it's
say they
Great
can't read?
Sand Dunes National Park. Like, the name of it is Great Sand Dunes National Park. Like, I can't believe there's that much sand in Great Sand Dunes National Park.
Again, it's in the
Oh.
name. Let me ask you a question. If you
So
were
sad.
headed out there, would you try I guess you would call it basically sand surfing, for lack of better terms. You could use a boogie board, or I'm looking at some pictures. There's some skis and different stuff. What do you think, man? Is it is that safe? Are you hopping on that?
I'm gonna be a little honest today with you. Actually, I'm always honest with you. I'm gonna be really honest with you about this. I hate sand dunes. I don't like hiking in sand because it gets in your I just don't like sand. Like, I'm not a big sand guy. Like, it's different from on a beach,
Uh-huh.
but just being in sand, nah, not my thing. Like, I know not to go to that national park because I don't want to deal with sand dunes. Like, just being honest, like, it's never been a thing that I get all excited. I know a lot of people love the sand dunes. When I did Pictured Rocks, my least favorite days were the days we had a lot of hiking on the beach.
Okay. Were you the one that left this review, John?
No, because I didn't go.
Okay.
Because I see that it's called Sand Dunes National Park. So that makes me go, John doesn't want to go there.
Well,
And
I
it's
gotta
okay.
tell you,
Like, it's not my flavor. It's not my flavor.
yeah, we all like different stuff.
Yeah.
I would try hopping on those boogie boards. I like to take one at the beach. Of course, my favorite thing about the sand at the beach is that there's a shower as you're walking off and you get to wash it off. So I'm actually right there with you on the sand. I'm not a huge
I hate it
huge
in my
fan.
shoes. I hate it in my shoes, man.
I tell
Oh,
you, the first place, even worse than your shoes, is like when you're getting washed around in the ocean, you get out and it's like you're wearing a diaper, but it's all sand, like in
oh
that
yeah.
line with swimming trunks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I'm not a big sand guy, you know, but other people are. So you know what? Go out and enjoy Sand Dunes National Park. Just don't invite me to come with you. I probably won't do it.
I got another thing I'd like to talk about real quick before we wrap today. I know we got a shorter episode.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so a short story. We're going to call this Trail Spice. So
Trail
I've mentioned this
spice.
before. It's the little particles of dirt and leaves and whatever organic or inorganic matter that gets into your food while you're out on trail, typically by accident.
Right.
Okay. So,
Or by dropping your food.
yes. Now, I got to thinking about this because I was at work and usually we make enough food. Like tonight, I would make enough food that tomorrow I could take some leftovers with me for lunch. So I scarfed that down in my 22-minute lunch. Well, keep in mind, lunch is 22 minutes. That's all you get by law if you're a public school teacher. And I think at my school, I get 23 minutes. So I start the lunch. I started
By
heating it up.
law, so if you go long, you can be arrested.
No, you can't go shorter.
Oh,
You're
you
required
have to go at least 22 minutes.
at
Okay.
least
Okay,
22
just making
minutes.
sure. I was like, man, Kentucky's pretty rough. They don't let you
No,
eat much.
it's not a strict, you have to do exactly 22 minutes, but you
Okay.
start heating your food up before you release the students to lunch. Take them to lunch, come back and eat your food. So I did all that and I open up my food and it's a taco bowl.
Ooh.
And I look inside and there's a fly in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just heated this up for 2 minutes. There's a fly in there. And I only have 22 minutes. So you're like, at this point, am I going to skip lunch? I got nothing else to eat, just the taco bowl, maybe a muffin or something left over from breakfast. So the food's semi cold, but there's a fly in there. And I knock the fly out. I heat the food up more and then eat the food. So I don't know if the fly survived 2 minutes in the microwave, being microwaved in there with my food, or if it flew in there and I didn't see it and like it flew in there while I opened it to check the food. So my question is twofold for you. Would you still eat the food if you found the fly in there and it was still alive? You knocked it out. Big old green fly, by the way. And secondly, on trail, what's the worst trail spice experience you've had? Was it a tomahawk steak you dropped in the dirt or the fire? Did you spill some mashed potatoes and rake them back in and eat them with the gravel? So we'll go with question one first. Would you still eat the fly food?
As long as I pull the fly out.
Oh, so even after microwaving it, you too would have
Well,
eaten it.
listen, I'm going to read you something. This might be disturbing for some people, but I'm just going to go ahead
Okay.
and read it so everybody can see it. Because CBS News actually did an article on how much stuff can be in your food that they sell you.
Uh-huh.
So are you prepared for this?
Oh, yeah, my stomach is ready.
Did you know that there can be 450 insect parts and 9 rodent hairs in every 16-ounce box of spaghetti?
No way.
Canned tomatoes, tomato paste, and sauces like pizza sauce are a bit less contaminated than the tomato juice in your cocktail. The FDA only allows about 2 maggots in a 16-ounce can.
Now, this I believe because Dad used to work in Florida around a tomato like juice and paste company, and he said the workers there would spit their tobacco juice in the big vats of tomato.
Yeah, are you ready for this one?
Pretty disgusting. Yeah, let's hear it.
Adding mushrooms to your spaghetti sauce or pizza. For
Uh-huh.
every 4-ounce can of mushrooms, there can be an average of 20 or more maggots of any size.
20 or more.
Yeah.
Excuse
That
me.
bless you. That was impressively intense for a sneeze, man.
Sick, man.
You
What
didn't
can
throw
I
out your
say?
back, did you?
Yeah, just my neck a little bit.
Okay, well, let's read some more about sweet corn.
Oh,
So,
gross.
the canned sweet corn we love is allowed to have 2 or more larvae of the corn earworm, along with larva fragments and the skin the worms discard as they grow.
Oh, when I said trail spice, this is not what I was thinking.
Well,
I was thinking a piece of leaf.
dude, for every quarter cup of cornmeal, the FDA allows an average of 1 or more whole insects, 2 or more rodent hairs, and 50 or more insect fragments, or 1 or more fragments of rodent dung.
Well, how do they even test for this? I mean, I know the FDA's hands are probably tied on this because just like monocrop agriculture, you're going to get a lot of these ground up bugs and stuff. But I don't even know how you would check to see how many maggots are in something.
Yep, but this is there's a lot more, and I'm not gonna read them all. But I just there's more in your food than you realize. So trail spice doesn't bother me too much. All that to say, trail spice doesn't bother me a whole lot. I would say the worst one I ever had. I think the worst one I ever had, I was eating and I can't remember if it was a locust or something fell out of a tree right into my rice, whatever it was I was eating.
Oh, and you ate that
Fell
locust?
right out of the tree. Oh, that locust was delicious. No, I'm kidding. I didn't eat the locust.
Oh.
I scooped it out and tossed it, and I just kept eating because, you just hiked. I think I hiked like 12 to 15 miles that day, and I was hungry. So I was like, I'm eating this thing.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a poll up on Spotify, and y'all can comment on YouTube. I don't think it lets me do a poll. And next week, we're going to see what percent of people would have eaten the fly food, not the actual fly, the fly food that I heated up after it being microwaved. And also tell us in the comments your worst trail spice experience. And we'll talk to our guest, Sally Chaffin Brooks, next week about would she have eaten the fly food and what her worst trail experience was. And we'll check some of those comments and unpack that a little bit and get a thru hiker's take on how gross can the food be before you got to just say, no, we got to sacrifice to the hiking gods.
And with that said, Jeremiah, next week we start the live streams back up.
Ooh, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern
Freaking NASCAR. So we are ready to go, man. We are ready to go. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We got some great stuff coming up. We got some great guests lined up. It's gonna be a fun fall. And Jeremiah, I'm doing new stuff this year.
Yeah, what are you doing that's new?
I'm gonna start duck hunting this year.
Oh yes, last week if you didn't hear about John's arsenal of weaponry.
Yes.
He is taking up hunting, so I can't wait to hear some of those experiences and how they mixed with the hiking and backpacking.
I'm tired of giving Kroger all my money, so I want to go hunt for my food instead.
Oh, we did get some great comments. I don't know if you've seen them from last week about the hunting situation. So,
oh yeah,
it can get a bit controversial, but it is entertaining reading through our comments. So continue to leave them.
Please leave them. It makes it more fun. And with that said, for myself and Jeremiah, thank you guys for tuning in to the Backpacking Podcast. We'll see you next Monday as we get ready to start back up our live streams. We'll catch you on the next one.